welcome back to Inkspiration. Today is Tuesday, July 10th, but if you are watching this on YouTube, then it is actually not Tuesday, July 10th live, which is what we're doing right now. Although I guess it could be still Tuesday if you're still watching this on Tuesday. Anyway, hello Erin, Janine, Pen Market, lovely. Okay, let's do the usual. Let's run through the products. We are using the Clairefontaine 1951 staple bound notebook, and as always we have to do the crinkle. Ready? Yep, every week it just gets better and better. Okay, the pen as always is the Pilot Parallel in the 6mm size, and you're all wondering about the ink. Let's see. Does this give it away at all? Like, can you figure it out just based on that? How about I don't say anything? Give me your best guess. And whoever is right, or if you're right, you will just, I will praise you. I will flood you with love for knowing what ink this is just based on that. Okay, I'm gonna try and ink this. Now, my converter is actually stripped, so it's a bit difficult to ink, so give me 1 second here. Let me re-ink it. Okay, good. It is KWZ Honey! Yay! I know, it's actually, I posted it yesterday, but just in case you didn't know, it's kind of fun to just guess based on this. Now, KWZ Honey, KWZ ink, KWZ, however you want to say it. I'm thinking this is probably the first ink from KWZ that became the most popular. It was probably the biggest hit, and I think it's still one of the most popular inks because it's pretty stunning. Okay, let's see. Now, we have, just turning this, we have the, that was just for me, we have the usual, where I write what I am using. Clairefontaine 1951 notebook. The pen is the utterly outstanding, fabulous Pilot Parallel in the 6mm size. If you don't have one, get yourself one of these immediately. Better yet, get yourself the whole set. I love these pens. I think I have something like 20 of them. I know, it's disgusting, it's shameful, it's excessive, but I actually ink them all with different things, so I don't know how disgusting it is if I actually use them. Anyways, let's talk about this honey. Now, last week I was practicing a new style, oh, that was the wrong side, a new style of calligraphy, and I'm going to try and go with it here. The new style was like a shaped Gothic. So here's what it could look like if I were doing it, but what it should look like if someone who knows what they're doing is probably not me. Okay, well, I can't really, the workshop was a pointed pen, and this is a broad edge, so I can't really do anything from what I learned in the workshop, unfortunately. Okay, next, what is the Y? I'm trying to remember how to do the Y. Okay. I'm kind of just making this part up. Hopefully it kind of looks okay, because I can't remember how to do the Y so well. Okay, that came out all right. Not the worst thing I've ever seen. Like the worst writing I've ever seen. Now, this is a pretty gorgeous ink. Hands down, one of my favorite KWZ colors. It is $15 for the 60ml bottle. I think that's pretty decent, not horrible. The color is gorgeous, shades well, just beautiful, super well behaved. It's fairly low on sheen, so if you're a sheen hunter, this is probably not the the ink for you, but if you're a shade hunter, then you want to check this out. I think it's truly gorgeous. Now, let's cap this. I'll bring the paper a little higher so you can take a look at it. Really, isn't that just beautiful? Seriously beautiful shading. Now, the thing is, this ink has a bit of a smell, so it's not scented. It smells a bit vanilla-y. I'm trying to smell my sample here. Let me dig it out and give it a sniff. Now, the original release was much stronger, like in the scent. The current bottles that they are producing are much milder, so it's not as strong. So if you have seen horror stories or heard horror stories online about it, don't worry too much. It's not super strong anymore, and don't feel afraid of it. And that's coming from someone who actually doesn't really like the smell, but this one is not too bad. So it is a beautiful ink, a beautiful color, superb shading, and I really like it. It's quite well behaved. It's a bit on the wet side, in case you need a wet writing ink for a dry pen. Okay, I saw some questions here. Thank you so much for joining, Steve. We will see you next time. The pigment of the ink ruined your pen. Well, that's actually pretty surprising. What pen did you put it in? I would not put, I mean, I'm very careful about what inks I put in clear pens, pens with ink windows, because I just don't want to have any staining and I just don't want to deal with that. So that's one of the ways I look after my pens. But even if you have a bit of staining, like some bleach or something, like a diluted bleach should take it out. Any ink for both shade and sheen hunters. There are a lot of inks for shade and sheen hunters, so we can discuss that a bit, but let me see here if we got anything in here. Hello, Candace! Oh, so exciting. Thank you for joining. This is quite lovely. Okay, shading. There's a lot. There's Robert Oster Gold Antiqua. Like, I mean, that's like crazy shading. We have, I don't know, this one, I don't know what that is. Always, like Diamine Havasu Turquoise, lots of shading. I mean, it depends what colors you like. We've got Kobe 44 Sumara Seaside Blue, lots of shading. If you're looking for sheen and shading, I would look at these Sailor, Bungu Box, and Kobe inks, because they tend to have a lot of shade and definitely some sheen in there. So that would probably be like an entire ink line you could take a look at. Okay, so let's look at my swab. This is Quasi Honey, and I think that is pretty beautiful. But you can see not super heavy on the sheen, but a lot of shading. So let's put that there. Now, I've got a whole bunch of red, oranges, like browns, because like I'm not entirely sure what this is. Robert Oster Bondi Blue. Thank you, Candace. That is an excellent suggestion. A lot of the Robert Oster blue inks are very saturated, lots of sheen and lots of shading. So that is an excellent idea. Thank you, thank you. Hello, Florence. Now, I'm not going to go in any sort of order. They're just a mess. We're just going to go through them. Graf von Faber-Castell, India Red. Obviously, this is not a red. Robert Oster Direct Sun. I mean, it's kind of an orange, but it's definitely like a brown orange, not an orange orange. Kobe number 8, Arima Amber. Robert Oster Aussie Gold. Far more gold, but like actually quite nice. Robert Oster Gold Antiqua. Interesting. I would say that these are both like in the same brown orange category. I think the honey shows a bit more shading. I think the Gold Antiqua is a little bit darker. We have Quasi Iron Gall Mandarin. Kobe number 2 Shin Kaichi Gold, which is far more gold, obviously. Kobe number 21 Taisanji Yellow. This one's pretty, but not the same. Quasi Old Gold, a lot of gold, a bit of green, a bit of brass color in there. We've got Robert Oster Green Olive. Hello, newcomers. We're just like inking it up, swabbying. Robert Oster African Gold. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness. I might have to pick that one for Inkspiration soon. Robert Oster Orange Rumble. Okay, this is a good example of the Robert Oster super shading here. Diamine 150th Anniversary Golden Honey. Robert Oster Cafe Crema, which is browner, redder than the honey is. Diamine Ochre. Quasi Cappuccino. Robert Oster Orange. I put this in for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, because it had a bit of orange in it. This is the Mont Blanc Petit Prince Red Fox. Blackstone Scented Wild Orange. Noodler's Apache Sunset. Quasi El Dorado. Kobe number 11 Ikuta Orange. Quasi Brown number 3. Robert Oster Golden Brown, and Robert Oster Maroon Mustard or Marone. So this one has a lot of shading. It has some sheen, but it's dark sheen. So depends what kind of sheen you're looking for. So I think our closest was the African Gold. And no, the old gold is a bit too green in there. I think these are our closest ones. So if you're looking for something similar, like if you have one of these colors and you're not sure if you'll like honey, if you like these, you'll probably like the honey. So very pretty. I think it's a really nice color. As I said, it's one of my favorite quasi colors. Really well behaved. It's very pretty. Pelican Amber is much lighter, yes. And it's not as, I don't know, like brown, orange. So like this one is more like warm, I think I would say. Okay, I was just doodling here, but you can just see from these lines how absolutely beautiful this color is. Get some really nice shading. Now I'm going to write hello. If I can remember how, because I have not practiced the Old English in a bit. So I'm just sort of making this up as we go. The best calligraphy is made up on the spot, she said, making it up on the spot. Yes, I'm actually really making this up on the spot because I know that Old English doesn't have little tails on the L. So bear with me. This is just how it's going to be while I make up this script. Which pen do I prefer to ink with quasi inks? I usually use the Pilot Parallels because they have a lot of shading, and I like to show off the shading. I like to see the color in its full spectrum. So these are my go-to pens. Hello. Beautiful color. Just so warm, outstanding. My bottle is emptied and I only have this sample left, and I think I might have to get myself another bottle because it's so gorgeous. Don't you agree? Is it not just absolutely beautiful? Now I'm going to give it a bit more ink down here just to wet it a little. We'll give that a second to dry. Yeah, just beautiful. Beautiful color. I really like it. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's outstanding. A truly exquisite, honey, yummy, warm colored ink. Superb shading and just so beautiful. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for joining. I hope you have been sufficiently inspired today, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.